Today on Rappler. The Maharlika Fund capital may be slashed by half with the removal of SSS and GSIS funds. Former Vice President Leni Robredo says her team did not find evidence of cheating in the 2022 national elections. Qatar probes the death of a Filipino worker at a World Cup training site. The U.S. Congress passes a bill protecting same-sex marriage. Jinni leaves South Korean girl group Nmixx. Prince Harry and wife Meghan speak up about tabloid harassment in new Netflix docuseries. And singer Celine Dion reveals she has a rare disorder which affects her movement and use of vocal cords. The proposed 275 billion peso seed capital of the Maharlika Wealth Fund is expected to decrease by more than half as the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas may not be able to fill the void left by the removal of funds from the Social Security system and government social insurance system. In a panel hearing on Friday, lawmakers introduced more amendments to the controversial legislation, including the suggestion to change the chairperson of the MWF Corporation Board from the country's president to the Secretary of Finance. The BSP says it is willing to pitch in 100% of its clear dividends to get the ball rolling for the proposed sovereign wealth fund, which is estimated to be around 30 billion pesos to 35 billion pesos for the current year. If that amount is added to the 75 billion pesos that will be jointly contributed by the Development Bank of the Philippines and the Land Bank of the Philippines, the seed capital would only amount to 105 billion to 110 billion. The Maharlika Wealth Fund bill is expected to be elevated next week to the House plenary. 7 months after the May 9 elections, former Vice President Leni Robredo says she did not file an electoral protest because her legal team and group of IT experts did not find evidence of cheating. But speaking at a gathering in New York City, Robredo clarifies this was not to say no cheating took place. Robredo says right after the elections, they formed a team of lawyers and computer experts to look into allegations of cheating but did not see anything. Election lawyer Emil Marañon III, who worked for Robredo during the elections, says the numbers checked. IT experts from election watchers also previously shared with Rappler that they had similar findings. Robredo adds her team did not want to file a case only to get supporters' hopes up. Following her defeat to incumbent President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Robredo formed the NGO Angat Buhay, inspired by her campaign's volunteer movement. Qatar launches a work safety investigation into the death of a worker after reports that a Filipino man died at a training site during the FIFA World Cup. Chief Executive of the 2022 World Cup, Nasser Al-Khater, confirms a worker died without providing specifics. Online sports publication The Athletic reports a Filipino man contracted to fix lights in a car park at the Sea Line Resort died after he slipped off a ramp and fell headfirst against concrete. Sea Line Resort is the training site of the Saudi national team. Since being awarded World Cup hosting rights in 2010, Qatar has been under scrutiny by human rights groups over treatment of migrant workers who account for the majority of the Gulf Arab states' population. The U.S. House of Representatives gives its final congressional approval to legislation that provides federal recognition of same-sex marriages. The House votes 258 to 169, with all of the chamber's Democrats and 39 Republicans voting in favor. The measure, called the Respect for Marriage Act, now goes to President Joe Biden's desk for signature into law. This will allow the government and states to recognize same-sex and interracial marriages as long as they were legal in the states where they were performed. The measure would repeal a 1996 U.S. law called the Defense of Marriage Act, which among other things denied federal benefits to same-sex couples. But the legislation would not bar states from blocking same-sex or interracial marriages if the Supreme Court allowed them to do so. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, about 568,000 married same-sex couples live in the United States. South Korean singer Jinni leaves K-pop girl group Nmixx and terminates her contract with the group's agency JYP Entertainment. JYP Entertainment announces the news on the Nmixx official fan page. The post mentions Jinni's departure from the group and agency, citing personal circumstances for leaving. JYP Entertainment apologizes to the fans for the sudden news and says the girl group will continue carrying out scheduled activities with the remaining 6 members. Since the news broke out, fans have been expressing their support for both Jinni and the remaining group members. Nmixx debuted with 7 members in February. They are known for their singles Dice, OO, and Funky Glitter Christmas. Prince Harry says the British royal family dismissed what he calls racist press hounding of his wife Meghan as a rite of passage. Their much-anticipated Netflix documentary series focuses on their treatment from the British tabloid press and how it led to their exit from official royal life. Harry draws comparisons between how papers had treated Meghan and the intense media intrusion his late mother Princess Diana had suffered. Harry, who along with Meghan stepped down from royal duties 2 years ago, says it was his duty to expose the exploitation and bribery of the media. In the first 3 episodes of the documentary, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex make a series of disclosures, with Meghan recalling her first death threat, Harry talking about wearing disguises, and unseen footage of their son Archie. Neither Buckingham Palace nor Kensington Palace have commented on the documentary. Celine Dion reveals she is suffering from an extremely rare neurological disorder affecting her movement and the use of her vocal cords. In a video, the pop icon explains her health situation and says she will not be able to restart her European tour in February.
Recently, have been diagnosed with a very rare neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome. For me to reach you again, I have no choice but to concentrate on my health at this moment.
Stiff person syndrome affects about 1 in 1 million people. Those who have it experience stiffness and enlargement of the muscles of the body and also causes painful muscle spasms. Celine reassures fans she is being treated by a great team of doctors and is supported by her children as she deals with her condition. She also says she is working hard with her sports medicine therapist to regain her strength and her ability to perform. And that's today's wrap. I'm Nina Liu. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for a full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.